I'm gonna get back to that story, Sonny. Just, just you listen to Boomer, great one. He's gonna tell you about how it was back in the olden days, back before fire, back when we walked uphill for everything. In fact, we didn't even have a concept of downhill because there was no downhill. Everything was uphill. We thought that was normal. We didn't even have a word for it because there was no alternative. It was uphill all the time. You just need to reach down and grab yourselves by your bootstraps and pull yourselves up, Sonny. Because when I was your age, I bought a house for $25,000. And I made that money on my paper route and bussing tables at the local cafe. And if I could do it, you can do it too. You just need to reach down and pull yourself up and just buckle up there, buckaroo. God, I hate boomers.
Now, despite what many of you think, even Cappy doesn't know everything. And like anyone else, sometimes I need an expert in my own, not just a field, but my own field. Like experts in their field don't know everything. I'm sure there's doctors that got to go consult other doctors that are specialists in the thing, right? And this is one such instances. I think the man I need to talk to the most is Jason Schreier. And the reason I need to talk to Jason Schreier, if you look at his actually quite impressive background, he's a very accomplished author. He's been a journalist at Kotaku, which was at one time the flagship game magazine of the internet. They covered different games and all that. Now it's a defunct website. They have, you can tell they're defunct because I think they got 2 million followers on Twitter, but they have less traction. They're down to 6 people, by the way. They just went through some layoffs. But anyway, he wrote there when it was a thing. He has several books that are very well received and very well accomplished. And most recently, he has moved on to Bloomberg. Now, a lot of you, I'm old, and I got to explain this to you. Bloomberg was the shiznizzle back in the 90s, back when I was a young man entering finance. You had the Wall Street Journal, and that used to be the thing. But then Bloomberg, headed up by Michael Bloomberg, came along and provided more up-to-date current financial news than the Wall Street Journal would. It was a print publication. Bloomberg was now, here it is, what's going on, fast financial information to the markets. That's how he became a billionaire. And I remember we were cooking with gas at the Carlson School of Management because we had access to Bloomberg terminals. I also had access to them when I was interning as an economics analyst. And you could get whatever information you wanted real time before the interwebs came along. It was, I'm not joking, it was an impressive piece of machinery. So you guys hear Bloomberg kind of more commonly now as just the financial news websites. It was and I would say still one of the premier ones out there, one of these financial news websites. And because it's one of the premier financial news websites, Jason is working there, I'm imagining he has more knowledge and authority than on this matter that I have a question on. So if you have not been paying attention, which you probably haven't because you have a life and you get laid, there's this big game that came out called Dragon Age Veilguard. And the game unto itself is not anything exciting or special, but it's turned into this battleground between the woke and the non-woke. And if you've heard news about this game at all, this is the game where when you design your character, among other things, you can have trans scars added. And as it came out and people started playing it, it's all woke propaganda and trans this and trans that. You look at the main writer, he's a the studio head, I think, is a trans person. The writer just has blue hair. But you could see it. There's many videos up on all that. And then the big thing was, well, this is going to be a woke game because there was already hints that it was. Is it going to make money? Because, again, those of you who get laid and have a life, Dragon's Age Veilguard is the 4th in a series of 4. It's part of a franchise. There's Dragon Age Inquisition, and Dragon's Age something else. And those games were tremendously popular, very popular. And they didn't have woke stuff except for Inquisition had a little bit of it at the end. And so your classic setup battle happened where they're saying, oh, it's going to go woke, go broke, and ain't going to sell this and that, that, and it. Now, Jason Schreier, pretty much like the perfectly perched sniper with the best view of this, having both written in the video games industry and now working at the prestigious financial institution in Bloomberg. He came in, and this was a week or two ago. And he has a screenshot here. Now, thank God someone saved his tweet because he deleted it since. So, but someone here, Packer Girl, she saved the screenshot. And Jason Schreier says, go woke, go bro, and he ... top of the charts. And he showed here that on the day of release, Dragon's Age Veilguard was the #1 seller on Steam, right? #1 seller. Steam is a platform that you can download a video game for PC. And then he also has another image here showing the current player count, because I think if you buy a game on Steam, Steam can track, which sounds a little creepy, whether or not you're playing the game. And it has a total amount in this particular image of 59,000 players playing at one moment in time, which you think is impressive. Now, I, despite being a boomer and needing the help of the Jason Schreier, who no other man can help me in America. He's like Batman. Only Batman can help me. Even I was able to go on Steam and look up the current player account, which goes up and down as people go to sleep. It goes down, people wake up, the player goes up. And it hit a peak of just shy of 90,000 people playing at one moment in time. You say, wow, that's a lot of people playing. Like, well, this is where I'm confused. This is where only Jason Schreier can help me. I can't make heads and tails of this, right? Because everyone's saying this is a woke game, it's a broke game. But then we got data and charts that shows like 90,000 people playing at one time. So I did a little bit more investigating, and I found out that, say, okay, so however many people are playing at one time, 90,000 at a peak. It's down now, I don't know, it's around the 60,000. 90,000 people playing at the peak. Sounds like a lot, but only 90,000 people bought it. And then, no, I went to the Carlson School of Management. I got my degree in finance. I could do some basic numbers, but I said 90,000 people. And let's just pull up, come along with me now. 90,000 people. Let's say they bought 90,000 copies. The price of the game is $60 on average. So that's $5.4 million. Now, I know this game took 10 years to develop, and no video game costs $5.4 million. They're kind of like movies, right? The $150, $200, $250 million range. So I'm thinking like, well, and other people who are more familiar with the video game industry than I am, they said, oh yeah, Veilguard cost at least $200 million. Some say 250. Some of you even said high as 3. Some said 150. I'm just going with 2 because I like round numbers. $200 million. I look at this 5.4 million. I'm like, well, that can't be all the people that bought it, right? There's PlayStation, there's Xbox, and all that. So some investigative journalists, of the same quality and caliber, no doubt, that Jason Schreier is, they went out and they found out through resources that as of now, right now, 500,000 copies have sold. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that makes a lot more sense. Not everybody plays the game at the same time, not right? Not everyone's on Steam. Not everyone bought PC. So they say there's 500,000 sales. So let's just do that math. 500,000, 1, 2, 3 times 60. All right. Now that gives you $30 million. But you got to keep in mind, oh yeah, like the game platforms are probably going to take something. So let's just multiply it by 75% because there's got to be a kickback, right? BioWare, which is the video game development company, they don't get to keep it all. So right now we're looking at revenues of $22.5 million. Right? Now, this is my question. This Jason Schreier, help me, Obi-Wan Jason. You're the only one you're our only hope. You said, now let me read. This is where I need your genius because you are the man. You said, go woke, go bro, top of the charts. And you provide some shots here. Someone that said unto you, there's no way you generally like this turd. And then you said unto him, I actually don't like the game very much, but I do like seeing you chuds get dunked on. So you are confident that this company did not go broke, or this video game did not go broke. right? You said, go woke, top of the charts. So you disagree that this video game went broke. Now, I only went to the Carlson School of Management. I didn't go to a prestigious East Coast school, which I assume you did, because, I mean, Bloomberg wouldn't hire anyone else, right? It forces me to conclude that my skills are outdated and that there is a new definition of broke and quote unquote profitable, right? Best I can figure out with the data we have, this company, BioWare, created a video game that at best, let's round up from 22.5 million to 30 million. This company or this video game brought in $30 million while it cost them 10 years and 200 million to produce, plus or minus. So using these numbers, the company, according to my old school training, which came back in the 90s, I could be wrong, BioWare is going to take so far $170 million hit. They are in the red. They are in the hole, $170 million. Now, I can't be right because you're Jason Schreier. You work at Bloomberg. You went to prestigious East Coast school, I'm sure. There is a new definition of profitability, right? There's got to be, right? Broke and profitable, those are two different things, right? There's a new form of accounting out there, right? So it go woke and it's still profitable. Now, I need your financial genius to explain to me how, whereas according to the old school fuddy-duddy, outdated, patriarchal means of, take revenue, subtract expense. I know, such close-mindedness. And we have a $107 million loss. I know that can't be true. Because according to the old school definition, BioWare, at least this video game, Veilguard, is broke a lot. And so you know better because you work at Bloomberg. So I need your financial advice. Why is it not broke now? It obviously is possible because you said so, right? Right? It's got to be profitable, right? Because game journalists and journalists at Bloomberg would never push a narrative, right? You guys would never push propaganda, right? And owning the chuds, did you get that in journalism school or your PhD in finance? Just the chuds. Do they teach you that in the advanced courses? Well, I don't know what a chud stands for, but again, I haven't gone to school in a long time. So if you could explain to me, Mr. Schreier, and for the rest of the audience to explain to these fools why Veilguard is totally a profitable venture and totally not broke, I'd appreciate it. I'd really appreciate it because, I need help. We all need help in our own industry sometimes. I don't have time to research. I know you're a big-time guy on the interwebs, and you may be very busy. Perhaps you could point me to a website that explains it, Modern Day Accounting. But I'd really appreciate it if you could tell me how Veilguard is not broke and is the profitable juggernaut that everyone in the James in games journalism said it was. Because right? You said this is great, right? So I want to know. That's all I have. We ain't super chat. We got any no super chats. That's it. Okay, we said 6 years or more, not normal. Okay. All right. They took many years to make this game. I want to know, when Borderlands 4 comes out, I want to know how it's going. And just so you know, the entire staff of BioWare is now working on Mass Effect 5. That's the newest game that also won't go broke. It'll be woke, but it won't go broke because new accounting. And Jason I do a video response, Jason. Please explain to us. Then we can all know. All right, I'll see you guys later. Toodles.